What is going on, everybody? This is Nifuji back with another World of Warcraft video, finally, because Blizzard decided to extend the raid testing and have us take a week off for no damn reason. So, we're finally back. I got to test out some more heroic bosses today on RESTO DRUID, and let's just say, this shit looking good, man. Like, hear me out. Y'all remember whenever I said something like this? Why I think raid resto healing in the War Within is going to be incredibly boring and subpar compared to any of the other healers. Okay, well, it turns out I was dead wrong because this shit feels crazy. And, like, hear me out. I know number tuning needs to be done still, and I probably have more mana than I'm supposed to because everyone in beta is using, like, the mana fucking necklace that gives you mana back. But this shit is good. And based off some of the comments you guys left on some of my previous videos, I tested my normal raid build today, and I also tested Convoke, and I'm happy to say that at least for heroic and down raids, they're probably both viable. I'm gonna be honest, when you start doing mythic raiding, I don't see how Convoke is gonna be a better option than Tree, but who knows? Maybe you can. That being said, a lot of people said, do we have the possibility to just be a reactive healer and not have to ramp? No, because that's not how Druid works, dog. You have to ramp at least a little bit. But I did test both the Convoke build and the Tree build today. It was pretty dank. I got to test out two bosses, and I'm going to jump into that footage in a second and do a little bit of explanation before I cut the yapping and just let you guys watch. But first, I want to jump into the talents that I used. So, outside of whether or not I took Convoke or Tree, you can pause if you want here to take a look at the talents. The most important ones that I used this time around that I think I did not use the first time is obviously that swap, but instead of using Verdant Infusion, which makes it so Swiftmend extends your heal over time effects, I started using Prosperity. And let me just tell you, Prosperity plus Reforestation is literally fucking insane. On the first boss that we kill when I was running my Tree of Life build, that plus this talent build, I think I had a 48% uptime on Tree of Life. I was literally Tree of Life for almost half of the entire fight, and the reason that is so insane is for two things. One, I'm using Master Shapeshifter, so when you use Wrath, you get mana back, and when you're in tree form, you instacast Wrath. So if you proc tree form and you don't need to be ramping right then, you just lightning fire those bitches out, and each Wrath is almost a full rejuve worth of mana back. So, you throw out like 6 or 7 of those, you just got back a ton of mana. And then I think there's also, here we go, every 5 regrowths you get a free Wrath. So, if you throw out some instacast regrowths or you just are using your clear casting procs, you're also getting an instant Wrath that is going to give you mana back, and it just felt insane. It felt really good. Those are the main talent changes I had. Um, for the first boss, I will show a pull where I use Convoke and a pull where I use Tree, and when we get to the second boss, I am just using the Convoke build, I think, in the footage, because really that boss felt really mechanic heavy. There wasn't a ton of damage. We did have a Mistweaver that was popping off, but I opted at the end to just try some Convoke pulls because there was a lot of reactive damage that I wanted to heal rather than stuff that I was preparing for. But yeah, Druid feels really good. I mean, I was consistently able to hit over a million HPS on big damage windows. It feels good. I'm really excited to see how Druid looks when the actual expansion comes out and we have better stat weights. I think right now I'm sitting at like 26% haste, which I think compared to retail right now, I have like 45 or higher, and I can definitely feel the difference. Um, the other thing I wanted to talk about is someone asked in my comments how much Dream Surge is healing, and it was doing about as much as my Swiftmend healing was. I think it was like 14 or 15%. I don't remember exactly. Let me see if I can pull up the log still. No, it's gone. It's a decent amount for like a hero talent. However, it's not as much as the other hero talents are doing, where it's just like sitting at the top of your HPS. But from spamming Swiftmends the entire first fight, pretty much, I was able to get a lot of healing out of this, and it was just underneath it. So it's one of your top 7 heals, but it's nothing to write home about. That being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into the footage, and like I said, I am going to yap a little at the start just to kind of give you the rundown of what I was doing, and the rest of the video will be silent. So, yeah, things are really looking up for Resto Druid. We are so back, baby. All my homies hate the other healers, get shit on, and yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the boss fights. Okay, so jumping into the first fight here, I believe this is either going to be the third or fourth boss of the raid. It's pretty easy. There's only a couple mechanics. So the first thing is that this dude is just going to insta-kill our tanks. We have two blood decays, and you're going to see they just die a lot or get right next to death. So keep an eye out for that. This first pull, I'm using the convoke build. So you'll see I'm just popping convoke whenever the damage hits, and I'll already have some hots out. So this first mechanic is kind of like experiments. You don't want to overlap them because it puts a big dot on you, and it is also going to leave behind these little remnants that are going to do damage to the raid ticking, and eventually we're going to explode them with the next mechanic, which does insane raid damage. So if you have extra of those, obviously you're going to die. That's basically the entire fight, and then you dodge some stuff on the ground, and those are the three mechanics. So I'm not going to talk about those anymore, but you can see there's a lot of damage here. Like I mentioned, I like to throw out a handful of hots before I convoke just for mastery stacks, but overall the convoke healing felt fine. It definitely sucks not having flourish, but even worse than that, I don't remember the name of the talent, but the talent that makes rejuve have a 1% chance to duplicate, not having that feels so ass because there's no reason to just throw a million rejuves out anymore really because they're not duplicating. So you'll see I tend to do that a bit still anyway because it's just habit, but yeah, you're not getting rewarded for like starting the pull with a rejuve on everyone, hoping that they keep duplicating. You just don't really need to do that. You just start ramping like 10 seconds before and then start throwing out big single target heals. You can see a ton of damage just came out when we exploded that, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, there's not really a lot left to talk about how I played here. Like, really with the Convoke build, I was just trying to use that whenever there was big damage. And with the 2 Swiftman charges, I was trying to spam that out so that I had Tree of Life up as much as possible since I didn't take the actual Tree of Life talent. And then in between that, I'm trying to weave in some rest to make sure I'm keeping up on mana. So that's pretty much all there is to say about this pull. I will catch you guys when the next pull comes around. Alright, hopping into the next pool, I have the exact same game plan, except for this time around I'm using Incarn Tree of Life, not Convoke the Spirits. So, a lot more focus on throwing out Empowered Hots, doing a little more healing through that. The nice thing about Tree is while it is still meant to kind of buff your heals, and that can help with the start of your ramp, it does a lot of healing after the fact as well. Like, the damage can be coming out, and although it's not mana friendly, you can spam regrowth, you get the Empowered Regrowth, or sorry, Empowered Wild Growth as well, so it does a lot. There's really not a lot to say about this pull either, and I don't have a ton to say about the next pull. There's way too many mechanics in the next boss to even go over what's going on, but just keep in mind I do use Convoke in there, and it felt fine. You'll see in this pull I end up topping the charts, which is pretty dank. I get a lot of healing out of the Mastery stacks and having the Tree of Life up basically half the fight, so it felt good. The numbers are doing good. The health bars are getting pushed up, and it feels noticeable. And when I'm looking at the HPS breakdown or whatever, it is the spells I would expect it to be. So, again, I have completely changed my opinion. I do think RESTO DRUID is going to look pretty freaking good going into the War Within, pending any final number tweaks that might make us stronger or weaker. So, hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of this video with this rare yap-free, like 12 minutes of gameplay yap-free, but if you guys have any other questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. And next video coming out will probably be some more footage from raid testing with my guild coming this Sunday, where we're going to kind of go through the entire raid, hopefully a little more organized. And when that time comes around, I will probably post something going over the bosses a bit more and just giving you guys some more yap-free gameplay just watching the bosses. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
always finds its mark. My execution was flawless. I will have your flowers. Your lives are forfeit. Toxic wound. Devour. Skewer.
I need no assistance to dispose of you, Anubarash. Struggle is futile. Venomous sting!
Toxic wound. Rampage. These blades are as weak as your spine to catch.
Your stench is stronger than your bite, Anubarash. Apex of power! Void devastation! Glutinous vortex!
The swarm must
Void devastation!
skewer.
I cannot use that item yet.